Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Here we are, Sof Shavua Erev Shabbos Kodesh Parshas Ki Seitzei. Ki Seitzei, of course, the parsha with the greatest number of mitzvos found in any single parsha. So that's a fun fact to always play with on Shabbos. But we completed our first week of learning back from vacation. Thank you so much. Please continue to daven for our highlights the safe return of our hostages, and we learn each day Tallit and Nishmat and Daniel Shiminar of Daron V'Sheli Shem Kam Damo. And this week our learning was sponsored in its entirety by the Brickman family, Le'il Nishmas, Isha Sar Devorah Bas Rabbi Yaakov HaKohen, Zichrono Levracha May her Neshama have an Aliyah. And we thank the family for ensuring that our Torah study takes place and that it is spread worldwide, audiences all around the world. And yes, I flatter myself, but if just I'm the one listening to paraphrase Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, then certainly it'll be worth it. But I do thank all the feedback that we get. So let's actually finish this chapter, and then next week, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll move on to another chapter. Dinim b'hanachas tzitzis utfilin likras shachris. Makdimin es hahisatfus b'talis lanochas hatfilin. One should put on one's talis before putting on the tefillin. Shatfilin mikudashim mihatzitzis, because tefillin are considered more sanctified. They're holier than the tzitzis. V'reisha adam yalam adregel darga b'malas hakadusha. And we say malam b'kodesh re'im maridin, that when it comes to levels of sanctity, we start in the lower level and we are always elevating and going to a higher level. So therefore, we start with the lower level talis, and then we move on to the upper level, the higher level of tefillin. B'nusaf l'kavana haragila shetzorach l'chavim eis asiyas kol hamitzvos. So normally one has to have specific kavana, or one should have intention when performing a mitzvah. But in addition to that, Shriha Kavana L'Kaimis Mitzvahs Hashem, which is the ordinary, I have to have the intention that I am performing a mitzvah of Hashem. Lamana B'Torah Mitzvahs Tzitzis Noad L'Haskilonos Kol Mitzvahs Hashem Kadei Shenekaimon. We are told in the parsha of Tzitzis that when we put on Tzitzis, it's meant to remind us of all the mitzvahs that Hashem gave us, that we can fulfill them. And now in Mitzvahs Tefillin, Noad Kadei L'Sha'abed Es Levavenu U'Mochenu L'Avodaso U'Lahaskir Lanu Es Yichudo V'Es Yitzias Mitzrayim. And Tefillin, the mitzvah, is there to let us know to subjugate our hearts and our minds to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and also to remind us of the uniqueness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and of course the Exodus from Egypt. The kavanos elu nitvasu b'sidurim, and these kavanos are all printed in all the sidurim. V'av she'ein chovel amram tzarich lehar harbehem. And even though one doesn't necessarily say them, or not required to, but one should certainly think about it. So if next time you put on Tallit and Tefillin, if you look at those paragraphs and those pages that are found preceding the putting on of those items, you'll see that all these kavanas, all these intentions are certainly mentioned there. People are very careful, or people who like to do things in a hiddur way, they'll put on talis and tefillin at home, and then they come to shul wearing talis and tefillin already. And even if they're not going to be from the first 10 people in the shul, it's better that they should put it on tefillin at home, and then they can come to shul already wearing the tefillin. And because of the sanctity of tefillin, one is not allowed to divert one's attention from the tefillin as long as you're wearing them. That's why people are always fidgeting or touching their tefillin, because you're always reminded that they're on, so we don't come to any sort of distraction. There are other sections of this that the Peninei Halacha deals with, particularly in the Likutim, but this is just, again, Bigadol, the importance of talis and tefillin. So it brings us to the end of this chapter, but we always have to have in mind, while we have our talis and tefillin on, that we have them on, the mitzvahs we're supposed to be reminded of, and to behave accordingly. Just going back to the section about coming to shul, putting tefillin on at home, again, if a person lives far away from shul and you're driving there, whatever, I mean, most likely in Eretz Yisrael, the way it is that the shul is very close to everyone's home. That's generally the shul that you daven in, the one that's close. So to walk from your house to the shul is not so unusual. Plus, people walking in the street with talis and tefillin in Israel is not unusual as well. But here in the diaspora, I think it's a little bit different, and one wouldn't necessarily do so, particularly in the current climate, unfortunately, in Chutz La'aretz. So in that case, one should come to shul and put on your talis and tefillin in shul, particularly if you leave them there overnight and that's where you keep them, so they're already waiting for you. So thank you so much for joining us. Wishing everybody a peaceful and restful Shabbos. Please continue davening for Chayei Tzvah and Israel Foolish Limit Chol B'Tzvah Yisrael safe return of our hostages. Leila Nishmat Sar and Daniel Shivan and our Rav Durham Misheli Hashem Yakim Domo. And thank you to the Brickman family again. Leila Nishmas Aisha Sarah Devora Bas Yaakov HaKohen Zichron Levracha Nisham should have an Aliyah, an occasion of the observance of her first yahrzeit. A very, very dear friend, close person to our entire family and our community. Very, very much missed. But the mitzvos that are being done on her behalf are just enormous, and that should bring her neshama and aliyah and great comfort to her entire family. So again, have everyone have a great Shabbos. We'll see you here at Mitzvah Hashem next week. Thank you so much for joining us.